We welcome you to sunny South Florida as we get set for match day 8 in MLS Next Pro. Inter Miami hosting Philly Union 2 on a sunny and warm day here inside of DRV PNK Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Great to have you along for the ride here in this matchup as we set the scene for today's contest. You take a look at the standings in the Eastern Conference. Focus your attention in that middle of the pack. That's where both Inter Miami and Philly Union sit right now. You can see 3 points separating number 4 and number 11. So a big swing game for these two clubs meeting for the second time this year. These clubs met earlier this season. That came on April 2nd. Miami won it 2-1 thanks to a fourth-minute second-half stoppage time winner from Farid Sarsar Cairo in that matchup. Philly Union will try to flip the script here today, wrapping up a 3-game road trip for the Union. And these two sides have a variety of changes within their group, as you might expect, for this Sunday evening matchup here in South Florida. Take a look at the starting 11 for Federico Higuain's group, a 4-2-3-1. You got Jake LaCava there on the left of that midfield. He's an elite goal-scoring presence in this group. 4 changes overall to this unit, 1 at each level pretty much for this Inter Miami CF2 group. And certainly keep an eye up top with the 24-year-old Lorenzo De Agostini. He's got a goal in the last couple weeks for Inter Miami. On the other side for Philly Union, they have 5 changes to their starting 11 here this afternoon. Pretty much their entire midfield has been completely made over, with a variety of players playing for the U17s trying to make a charge in the MLS Next U17 playoff push. But Holden Trent holding down the fort in that with Andrew Rick up at the U17 playoff experience this week for Philly Union. 8 points for the Union as they try to make that push towards the top of the league table. Great to have you on board today. I'm Michael Watrang, our entire crew. Hope that you would stay with us here this afternoon as we are underway here in Southern Florida. Inter Miami will be wearing the black uniforms with the pink accents. They'll go left to right. Philly Union has the white jersey uniform tops and the light blue shorts here today. This is one of the 10 games on this Sunday for match day 8. We had a bunch of draws earlier in the week, and then Columbus Crew blowing out Orlando City B 4-0 to start the day. 4 second-half goals from the Crew, 2 in that matchup. So we'll see what happens with these two clubs here today. Had a chance to speak with Marlon LeBlanc of Philly Union 2 earlier this week, and he talked about the fact that this group is youthful and they haven't had a same starting lineup at any point this season. And you won't expect that at this level, but the fact that you make 5 changes on 11-man starting 11 on a week-to-week basis, which is pretty much what is happening for Philly Union 2, that makes the challenge that much harder for this unit. A deep throw here in the opening minutes. Rocketed into the box. It's headed out. One touch. Right-footed shot attempt from Alvarez gets cleared after a block. Long run. And it will go out of play after Lorenzo De Agostini was giving chase after it. He was the last to touch. And there's a foul early. Jose Riasco is called for the foul. Well, these two teams had very interesting matches last week. Let's start with what happened with Inter Miami. Taking on Atlanta United 2, they allowed 2 goals in the first 4 minutes, including 1 in the opening minute of that matchup. You give that goal up, and you feel like it is a huge hill to climb. Well, guess what? Inter Miami got 2 back in the first half, and Perkovic won it in the 88th minute. A 3-2 victory for Inter Miami, and certainly a better start, hopefully, in the cards here for this Inter Miami team as they threaten with a long-distance shot attempt that sizzles wide. It goes out for a goal kick. On the flip side, Philly Union beat New York Red Bull 2, but Marlon LeBlanc talked about the fact that that was a game where he thought his team had a chance to put the game away early in that first half, were unable to do so. They took a 1-0 lead, then a red card sent Philly down a man, tied the score at 1 apiece. They get a goal back, and Red Bull 2 finishes with 2 players getting red cards in the final quarter hour, and the game ends 10-9. This ball swept away by Castillo, out of play. So there was some drama, there was some theatrics, there was a learning curve, and that's what was echoed throughout the week is some of the staples that you learn throughout the week of play. In moments like that, you want to see how they translate to the playing surface throughout the week. That ball just out of the reach of Lucas Meek. Puts his hand up, saying it was my fault. This ball pounded forward. Nobody going to be able to link up to that. Nelson Pierre was the closest, coming off of a brace. Pierre scoring in the 20th and 39th minutes. And that Red Bulls 2 victory. This time Meek is able to latch on, but he's the last to touch. Luke Martelli getting a little aggressive, and he will throw it in, and ends up throwing it in basically the same spot that he was whistled to go back. Here's the Inter Miami keeper, CJ Dos Santos. He's given up 8 goals so far this season. This ball ends up inside of the 18, and Castillo just sweeps it away. And it goes for a throw for Inter Miami. Meek will take. Sesak. Frey. Caputo shuffles it wide. Meek lets it sail through. Sesak couldn't latch onto it, was hoping for a little bit of a redirect, or at the very least a slowdown. Never got it. As I mentioned at the outset, these two teams not far off from being one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, and certainly for both sides today, thinking about 3 points and pushing themselves right up the table. Stojanovic has the ball taken away. Philly Union has given up a boatload of goals this season. There's a foul whistled. That'll set up the Union. They've only scored 10, however, this year. Amongst the fewest in the league. As you take another look at that one, and Sesak whistled for the violation. And Martelli will take this free kick. So the Union will set it up. Looping ball in, flicked onto the back post, and an opportunity, and we get a flag up for offside. Well, The flag came up, but the players continued to play. After the ball was flicked in, you take another glance at it, and Pedro Alvarez was driving right in on frame, and Dos Santos and Alvarez take the brunt of that. And here in the 8th minute, you can already see that Alvarez has the face mask on. And he comes up with a lower body injury that time around. Inter Miami has given up 17 goals. It's tied for the second most in MLS Next Pro. Well, this is delightful. Meek out wide. Sunderland tracks it down, and the ball ricochets off of Martelli for a corner. That was a very quick work down the field. Now an opportunity for Miami off of a set piece. Noah Allen will swing this ball in. Allen ready to take. Decides to play it out of the 18-yard box, get it back, shuffle it in, back post, headed across the frame and clutched out of the air. Very nicely there by the keeper. Holden Trent. Good reverse of field here. Riasco got into the box, but Dos Santos comes out and plays. Seeing really good end-to-end play right now. Here's another glance at it. You can see what Miami is doing inside of the box. It goes all the way to the back post, and Holden Trent able to keep that ball in play to try to ignite a counterattack, and that's where both sides have excelled here in the opening 9.5 minutes. Well, Miami will play 3 of its next 4 on the road after this. So I don't want to count points, but certainly you want to start thinking about that at this point in the year. Frey. Meek, he's been so good with that one-touch passing. Sunderland waits. A switch of fields. Black jersey litter the box. Caputo to the middle, and a shot attempt off the side of the bar. Sunderland had a great look at it. Right at the edge of the 18-yard box. And he bangs one off the left side of the post. Take another glance at this. He found some space and he was able to evade one defender. He put it low. Trent might have had that covered, but it hits the outside of the bar. First real good opportunity for either side. And now Meek trying to ignite things yet again. They heave the intended target, and Trent has to just waste the ball away. And this pressure of Miami starting to amp up, and Philadelphia just trying to get the ball out of the area. Now here's a foul whistled. Miami looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Last time it happened was the end of July of last year. Well, for Philly Union, the one thing that you can assure yourself of is they like to pass the ball long. 4th most long passes attempted in the league this year. So their build-up you can expect to not be short passes, and a lot of them. Expect maybe 1 or 2 and then a long bomb down the pitch. Miami, conversely, will do things just like this. A long run and try to spring forward. Their attackers. Meek was the last one to get a piece. This is the second time along this sideline that the officiating crew has stopped play because they don't like where the throw-in is coming. And it's the second consecutive time in which Martelli takes a couple steps forward. And despite giving it away, a foul whistled and a quick restart for Miami. Boy, have there been a lot of whistles about some very small issues, and this benefits Philadelphia this time around. They can reset their defense. That ball slices out of play.
No.
Just like they like to do with their passing, they take a long throw here, and then a foul is whistled. And this is going to freeze play for a moment. Here's that long throw, and then you just see the arm pop up and hit the chin region. Great to have you on board here on MLSNextPro.com. Michael Watchring and our entire crew watching it with you. Come in and stay a while for this match. And it is a busy time frame in MLS Next Pro. One game at 2, and then 8 of the 10 slated for today. Kicked off between 5 and 7 o'clock. Here's a twist and a turn. And a sliding clearance. Meek. Will it be a corner? It will. Looked like Martelli might have had a track on it, but instead it goes out. And that'll be another corner kick. Noah Allen has a long way to go to get over to that side as we hit the quarter-hour mark. Well, he took it short last time and pummeled a ball to the back post that forced Trent into action. This time he flies it into the box, and a header goes high and over from De Agostini. Well, you have to be satisfied if you're Inter Miami with your 2 corner kicks. Both times you've linked up with your player without really much resistance from Philly Union. You've been creative in those areas. And it's normally Philly Union that you can chalk up to be one of the more creative sides. 43 corner kicks this year. Scoreless affair so far, and there's a foul whistle that'll have a free kick for Philly Union. This portion of the match is brought to you by Auto Nation, the official automotive retailer and dealership of Inter Miami CF. Portela. Miami has played more on the front foot than Philadelphia so far. And they've been able to find some seams on this right channel. Little flick on, but an interception. Valero stepped in to take it. Really good pass through the middle. And then a bit of a deflection by Nelson Pierre. He thought that he was going to get that touch right. Just ricocheted off of his boot. Good interception, and here comes Alvarez. And a foul whistled. Well, that was promising for a moment for Philly. The interception at midfield, and you spring forward this elite scoring group up top. Riasco and Pierre. Two players that have scored a dozen goals in their MLS tenure between them. But that ball just got away from Alvarez. And trying to regain possession, committed the foul. Long ball sent forward. Had to get it right that time around at Frey. Stojanovic was right on his backside, and he was able to elude him with a nice move. Oh, that's nifty. Sunderland creating space. Sunderland thinking. He was trying to lay it off to Nahib, who was trying to delay that run, but was unable to do so. And now an interception. Allen steps in. Sunderland nearly had it back. Instead, it comes out wide, and a hard slide tackle ensures that that ball goes out of play. Miami threatening. Miami has scored at least 2 goals in each of his last 3. 8 goals over that window. Attack has been excellent. And here's a long throw into the box that'll be won initially by Meek, but nobody was making that run behind him, and you could see the frustration by Meek. D'Agostini was the closest man to it after the initial touch. Take a look at Meek. He found himself in some good real estate here, but look where all the black jerseys are other than D'Agostini. He was waiting for somebody else to make that run, or at least a couple bodies over in that direction, and nobody did. One way to move the ball down the yard. Off of the goal kick, you get a foul. You set yourself up. Well, the Union are one of the 7 teams in Next Pro without a clean sheet this year. Whistle comes. And here's the ball sent low. It's a shanked clearance attempt, and Martelli will take the throw. Union pushing forward. And the pass from Stojanovic. Out of play. Really good passing along this side. Meek, who's played such a key role early, trying to slide it through for D'Agostini, but an interception. He can see. That's exactly what I said earlier with what Philly Union tries to do, those long passes, a quick interception, and rather than build, they try to use that speed. And here's DeAugustini in for just a fraction of a moment. But good retreating defense by Castillo ensures that the only man to touch that ball next would be his keeper. Trent bombs it. And a foul. Not much there, really. Alvarez will gladly take it after LaCava got a piece. This portion of the match is brought to you by Florida Blue, the official health insurance of Inter Miami CF. Bodies collide on a couple occasions there. And it is Dos Santos forced to send it away. Able to hold it up is Philly. And look at all the black jerseys hustling forward. Allen springs loose. Allen to the middle. LaCava. D'Agostini was trying to give it back to LaCava, and he commits the foul. Well, it has been timely defensive runs in recovery for the Union. Might appear as if there's some space, but they're able to retreat at the right times. 25th minute of a scoreless match so far in the 5th meeting between clubs from Miami and Philadelphia.
Possess that time.
Quick restart by Miami. Long ball sent along. Allen couldn't time the bounce properly as he waits, but still has possession. Sesak. He gathered it in with that initial touch, but momentum carried him a little too far as it bangs off of his arm and goes out of play. A scoreless draw thus far in this matchup. Here in the 26th minute, we've seen 6 total shots. 4 from Inter Miami, 2 from Philadelphia Union. And 1 has been on target from Miami. Take another look at that sequence in the middle of the yard. Atlanta and Crown Legacy right now tied at 1 there in the 61st minute. In Atlanta, Sporting KC trails Los Dos 1-0 in the 25th minute. And Colorado and Austin 0-0, 25th minute. Sesak into the box. D'Agostini! Oh, what a header! How did he get to that ball first? Miami has a goal early. 1-0 leader from Lorenzo D'Agostini. I have no idea how he got to this ball first. Look at this, completely shielded, but somehow able to get around Portela, get the head to it, and put it into the net. Beautiful, clinical, and Lorenzo D'Agostini with his 2nd goal of the season. He scored a few weeks back against Huntsville. And he puts Inter Miami ahead 1-0. When you look at that replay and you watch it back, you think there's no chance that De Agostini is getting there first. And if he does, it's a foul. But not only was he able to get there first, he was able to avoid contact, and probably even more impressively than all of that, able to put it in a perfect spot to put Miami in front. Let's see if that changes the mentality of Philly at all. Stojanovic plays it out wide, and it will be a corner for Philly. They average about 6 per match this season. Sesak gets the assist on the goal. And it is a 1-0 advantage for Inter Miami. They've given up a boatload of goals this year. 13 in the last 5. 2+ in each. Here's a bending ball into the mixer, and it gets cleared away. Line gets pushed up, swinging the right foot, putting it up, banging it off of the bar. And how about the response from Valero? Moments after Miami takes the lead, it is Philly with the response on a delightful strike from Valero. Wow. Off of a corner. You see Valero, he's outside of the 18-yard box all by himself. It gets cleared away by De Agostini. Valero gets back to it, makes one-man whiff, sets it up with a right foot. And Dos Santos just couldn't get enough on it to clear it away. And within seconds of Miami jumping in front, Philadelphia with the response. A shade over 2 minutes later. Game on here in South Florida. For Valero, that's his first goal. He was signed back in March, 22 years of age, and he puts in the finishing touches on just a brilliant finish. This portion of the match is brought to you by Baptist Health, the official medical provider of Inter Miami CF. A brief pause here to make sure everything's all right. Valero with a beautiful strike began his career in the Primera Division of Venezuela, his home country. Here's a nice ball inside of the box. Flag down. Stojanovic retreating. And finally, the ball goes out of play. First goal for Valero in 2 seasons. De Agostini with his second goal in the last 3 matches. He's now got 4 in his last 9 outings across all competitions. There's a foul. Oh, a nice little burst over a 2-minute stretch. Two teams that are trying to charge up the charts. Atlanta looking to steal a point away from Charlotte. Certainly things to keep an eye on here in this May matchup. Sesak gives it forward. Sunderland. Bodies collide. Bodies tumble. Allen. Frey. Excellent overlapping run here. LaCava. De Augustini. De Augustini gets shut down by Trent. He had to make himself big, and he did just that. LaCava with an excellent ball. The touch from De Augustini sets him up, and he just can't get it over Trent. Well, these two sides have had some great sequences in the passing category over the last 10 minutes, leading to goals and leading to great chances. Frey carries the ball along. The ball gets flicked out wide. Meek settling in, shovels it through. De Augustini gets it blocked, and it's cleared away. Caputo, LaCava. Miami wanted a foul, but instead they can't clear. LaCava flies it through, pings out. Allen, LaCava back over. And Sunderland thought he had a teammate behind him, but it was an opponent. De Augustini trying to get back, and he commits the foul. "35th minute of play, 1-1 your score. De Augustini a header in the 27th minute. Valero, a brilliant strike from 18 yards out in the 29th minute. And all level here in Fort Lauderdale. Great to have you on board with our entire crew. Michael Watchrang watching this one here on MLSNextPro.com. Hope you're enjoying this one. Happy Mother's Day as well to all those mothers out there. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Here's another look at this foul. Stojanovic going to the ground after the hard foul from Nick Sesak. That sets up Philly Union with a fairly decent opportunity here. For Castillo, is this too far away to strike one on frame? Or does he have designs at a Golazo? The whistle blows, we're ready to go. And now it blows again. Castillo points out directions. One deep breath, couple stutter steps. Castillo takes aim, and it's just high. Boy, that was an ambitious strike, but it was nearly spectacular. Take a look at the slow run up to this ball. And he hooked it around the wall, and it just caught the upper portion of the netting. Pretty good there from Castillo. Quickly on the attack again, Miami. Last 8 minutes or so of the first half. Good patience to wait for it. Here's Sesak. Numbers in the box, a redirect, and Trent does a good job on an in-between hop to pick it up. Here in the 38th minute, a 1-1 tally at the moment. Well, either of these sides seize control going into the second half. That was one of Marlon LeBlanc's messages from last week's match against New York Red Bulls too. Find a way to play the complete 45 in the first and see if you can put an opponent away. Allen will get the throw here. De Agostini near the corner flag. LaCava. Nahib. De Agostini was offside. This ball will stay in play as Trent goes to pick it up. Trent plays a little catch with Dos Santos, keeper to keeper. And by doing so, it allows Miami to begin its build out of the back once more. Good interception. And now a charge forward from Philly. And a foul will be whistled. And this is going to set up Philly in a really nice spot again. A team that excels on these set pieces. And it was interesting. I was speaking with Marlon LeBlanc earlier, and certainly any coach in this league, you don't necessarily have that full complement of those second team players on a consistent basis. As you see the foul again, there's not a lot of training, and he said, you know, sometimes I get a couple days with guys. Sometimes I don't even know who I have until the day of the game. And somebody's in a role where we never practiced. But it shows the overall training that Philadelphia does as a program. Here's this free kick, swirling towards the back post. And it is Castillo that got the head to it first, but it's out wide. Well, both sides have been really good on set pieces, corners. Very few times has the defensive unit won that initial ball, and when they did, Miami, Valero put away the second ball in a 29th minute, 18-yard strike. One apiece here in the 41st minute. Closing in on halftime. A wide switch of fields. No foul whistled as Alvarez went down. Meek. Sesak, Meek, left-footed. Trent with a solid save. And the second time through, Sunderland took aim, and it goes wide. Well, Holden Trent's having a great opening half with some solid saves. Here it is again. Take a look at that ball, but it was right at the keeper. And the rebound will certainly be something that Trent will dissect in film review. Granted, if maybe he does parry that ball out wide, De Agostini standing over there. But it allowed for a second chance opportunity right in front of the cage. last 5 matches entering today for Inter Miami, there have been a combined 20 goals scored between themselves and their opponents. That's a goal, or a corner kick rather. So you can always count when Miami's out there on the pitch for goals to be scored. And they're going to set up a corner kick here as we wind down towards halftime. Here comes the corner kick coming in. This ball pelted through the middle. It is headed away by Portela, but it stays inside of the box. Trying to take a dive and see if he can get a PK. No whistle. Frey was taking that dive. Meek was hustling in. Takes a ricochet, goes out for another corner. Here it is again on this nice switching ball. Meek the target, and a good flicking header by Castillo to win that ball to ensure that it would go out for a corner kick. Allen and Nahib. Allen strikes it. D'Agostini can't make contact this time. And it goes on the opposite sideline for a throw. Well, you look at the clock. Not a lot of time left. We're hearing 1 minute of stoppage time. I think Philadelphia will be glad to get in level at 1 apiece after Miami was on the front foot for a good chunk of the first half and scored the opening goal in the 27th minute from D'Agostini. But a quick response just a shade over 2 minutes later from Valero. Ensured that this game would be all level right now at 1 apiece. Here's our 1 minute of stoppage time. Philadelphia in possession. Martelli and a deflection by Pierre. Pierre and Riasco haven't spent a lot of time on the ball today, and that was 2 strikers that Coach LeBlanc was very satisfied with their performances in the last several weeks. Meek charging. D'Agostini right back for Meek. Trying to get on the right side of that. Just didn't hit it right. Defender was pushing in on him as well. And that should carry us to the break. Holden Trent will walk it forward. Probably just needs to hit it about as far as he can. And everybody from Miami retreating. You can see nobody's even on that half of the field. And now there is your halftime whistle. And a solid opening half of play between these two clubs. Entertaining. And after Miami scores first in the 27th minute on a D'Agostini header, it is Valero answering right back just shy of 2.5 minutes later, making this a level matchup. The first time these teams played, the game winner came late into stoppage time in the second half. Are we trending towards another one? Stick with us. Halftime here. It's 1 apiece at the break. We'll take a look back at last weekend in a moment, but first, everyone loves a comeback story. Samara Perez has more on the journey from North Texas's Diego Hernandez. We do need to caution you that some of the images shown in this interview are graphic.
Hi there, I'm Samara Perez, and in this edition of our Players Profile series, we are joined by someone who experienced a very traumatic incident. He'll be sharing that story with us today, but we would like to warn you that there are some disturbing images. Let's welcome Diego Hernandez from North Texas SC. Diego, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are delighted to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Diego, before we talk about your incident, we would like to get to know a little bit more about you. We know that you are the club's youngest ever player to debut professionally at only 15 years old. Talk to us about your start in soccer and how you fell in love with the sport.
My start in soccer came when I was 3 years old. I have 3 older brothers, and they all play. So from the beginning, I was so eager to play. And when I finally got that opportunity, I just never looked back. On the weekends, my whole family was always at the park. Like, that is where you would find us. And just like immediately fell in love with the sport. And it's something that I've, continued throughout my whole life. And I want to continue to keep this part of my life. Now, I was 5 years old when I first started here. And since then, it's just been progressively year after year, just going up the ranks. And the club has given me the opportunities to start playing professionally and, start getting closer to where I want to be.
Now, shifting gears to what we mentioned earlier, you were involved in a serious car accident. What do you recall from that?
I remember turning on my truck, and that's as far as I can tell you. From the accident itself, I have no true recollection of it. But in terms of from investigations, police reports, it was an accident that was very, very hard in terms of I was driving a Ford F-150, and for all of you who have trucks, they're big vehicles. And fortunately, I was struck on my side, which caused my truck to skid and flip for close to 80 yards, almost a football field. And the truck that hit me was a Silverado, going at about 97 miles an hour. And it was something that was, it's very hard to, picture that. But that was more or less how the accident took place.
How did it affect you physically and mentally?
I do believe in miracles. I do believe in a higher power, and I believe that day God was with me. In terms of physical, my body was sore, yes, and I had the usual bruises and scratches, but I didn't break a single bone. In fact, I walked in 2 weeks. And I'm so fortunate for that. But one of the things that did leave a mark on me was that mental side of it, that many players face whenever they face adversity, and that really left a mark on my career and my personal development was that mental recovery.
And how were you able to overcome that?
Obviously, with the help of my family, I have a very, very, very strong support group, as I'm sure, many players have, as their family is behind them and supporting them. But truly, I can tell you that when it comes to overcoming that adversity, I have to really shine it back on my faith on God and the facts that, there is power in prayer. And when it comes to prayer and growing in your spiritual faith, that's something very important. And for sure, for me, that was what solidified my recovery process.
Diego, now that you're back on the pitch, what are you hoping to accomplish in your first season with MLS Next Pro?
Well, for sure, I have the goals with my team to win a championship, to go as far as we can. But then, there's that individual side where it's my first year, and I have a lot of players around me that are very good players. And I'm going into the season knowing that, there's still a lot for me to learn, there's still a lot of areas for me to grow in. And that's what I'm looking towards, to keep growing and keep improving.
Diego, we appreciate you so much for opening up to us and sharing your story with us. You're truly an inspiring example to follow, and we are proud to have you as part of the league.
Thank you, Samara. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to today's player profile feature. I'm Samara Perez. We'll see you on the next one.
We're tied at 1 apiece between Miami and Philadelphia Union. Michelle is back with the best of Match Day 7 in this week's edition of the Spotlight.
Another big week of play, another full slate of players making their names known in MLS Next Pro. Here are your Match Day 7 players in the spotlight. With the streak they're on, it's no surprise that a Rapids 2 player gets us started this week. Rapids 2 Academy player Daniel Garcia is the rising star of Match Day 7. The 18-year-old defender earned his first goal of the season and did it within 5 minutes of subbing in. He was actually brought in to help shore up the defense and help them maintain a clean sheet, but ended up also scoring during a set piece to earn Rapids 2 their third goal of the game and to earn him the Match Day 7 honor. The MLS Next Pro player of Match Day 7 is Philadelphia Union 2's Nelson Pierre. He was actually one of 7 players on the weekend to score a brace in their team's match. His 2 goals proved vital to helping the Union 2 secure just their second win of the season. Pierre is certainly proving himself a key element to this Union 2 attack, having put up 3 goals and 2 assists so far on the season. As for the best goal of Match Day 7, well, that goes to Marco Micheletto, and when I say it wasn't even close, it was not even close. He set the new record for the most percentage of poll votes, earning 75% of them, while no other goal even reached 10%. A spectacularly lofted ball from Thomas Roberts put Micheletto in perfect position to score the game winner for Crew 2, and to give him a very rightful place in the Match Day 7 spotlight. The team of Match Day 7 honor goes to Toronto FC2 following the team's first win of the season. And what a convincing win it was. TFC2 also featured one of the 7 players earning a brace for their squads. It was Jordan Faria finding the back of the net twice in the first half to put his team up for good. This was a breakthrough win for Gianni Cimini's side, who recently had suffered back-to-back heartbreakers. Big shout out to all of our Match Day 7 honorees in the spotlight. We'll see you right back here after Match Day 8.
Halftime in Miami, tied at 1 between Miami and Philadelphia Union. The MLS Next Flex tournament is taking place right now in Maryland. Let's check in with David Goss, who has more.
That's still a good build-up here. Slip through. Bending effort, what a spectacular goal from... That's a good run on the far side. Tight angle to tying goal.
Halftime here between Miami and Philly Union 2, tied at 1 apiece. 2 more points for Huntsville City. Next Friday, it's the home debut of Joe Davis Stadium, Huntsville City FC. Started the season with 7 road matches as renovations were completed. This week will be big for the club, culminating in the big match.
Gotti working forward. Golazo. Free kick driven goalward.
We will have dignitaries on hand as we roll out the red carpet next Friday night at 8 Eastern when Huntsville City reopens Joe Davis Stadium against Crown Legacy FC. The match will air on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Look at the schedule upcoming in MLS Next Pro this week, match day number 8. And here's what you can expect on match day number 9. 3 matches on Friday evening, highlighted by that Huntsville City and Crown Legacy FC matchup on Friday. And Sunday, things get busy. Excellent matches across the board. Philly Union will be hosting New England Revolution 2 to start the day at 3 o'clock. You get an all-Ohio matchup, FC Cincinnati and Columbus Crew 2 at 6 o'clock to start that slate, and everything comes to a conclusion. Whitecaps FC 2 and Tacoma Defiance at 9 p.m. Wall-to-wall action on Sunday for match day number 9. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first half of our match here in South Florida as we take a look at how things got started. An early opportunity here from Philadelphia Union. Portela was offside on that play, but a nice entrance ball. And that was kind of the theme of the opening half. Excellent balls off set pieces. This ball went to the back post. Trent had to handle it off of the initial corner kick. And then midway through the first half, the account nearly opened for Lawson Sunderland in this match. But after a couple missed opportunities off set pieces and restarts, things broke through with DeAugustini with a delightful header. Incredible effort to win that ball. It came in the 27th minute. Miami took a 1-0 advantage. But about 2 minutes later, on a corner kick from Philadelphia Union, it looked like Miami was going to clear this ball out. But it was won by Valero. He took one step past the defender, was able to adjust it through 2 defenders, off of the hands of the keeper, Dos Santos, and into the net for his first goal at MLS Next Pro. LaCava tried to give DeAugustini another chance. Trent made a big save. He had a couple of those in the first half. And then Castillo nearly had a highlight caliber goal in the waning moments in the 37th minute. And then in the 42nd minute, this header from Castillo went wide. And Philadelphia Union started to find some good pressure in the waning moments of the first half. Here's your first half statistics. Miami with 10 shots, 4 on target, so that means 3 saves for Trent in that first half. Passing accuracy, though, Miami so much more accurate at this point. Much more possession for Miami as well. A 3-to-1 ratio in that category. And we are ready to roll here in half number 2 of the 5th meeting, and the second time these two teams met this year. If it's any indication of match number 1, when Sarsar Cairo won it in the 4th minute of added time of second half play, we are in for what should be a fantastic finish between these two clubs. With our entire crew here in South Florida, I'm Michael Watring, watching this one with you here on MLSNextPro.com. Philadelphia flicking this ball forward. Excellent touch from Pierre. And he bangs it off the outside of the netting. Well, Pierre had a brace last week. He's got 8 goals in his Next Pro tenure. That burst and speed, it's a well-timed run to stay onside. Tough angle. He had the right mindset because you could see Dos Santos going towards the field, just couldn't keep it on frame. Well, it's a nice start to this second half of play here in South Florida. Temperatures right where you would expect them to be here in May, mid-80s Fahrenheit to begin the day. Well, two sides that have to deal with a lot of changes within their roster on a week-over-week basis. 5 changes in the starting 11 for Philly Union, 4 changes for Miami. Neither side made a change at halftime. Well, you can see by the possession numbers in that first half, Miami was in control of the game in terms of holding on to the ball. But Philadelphia was excellent in taking advantage of the opportunities that they did get. This high arcing ball intended for either Meek or Sunderland. Neither of the two able to latch on. Well, I mentioned it at the outset of this game, and if you're just joining us, these two teams as it stands right now at 8th and 10th in the Eastern Conference standings, but only 3 points separates teams number 4 through 11 in the East. And because of that, anytime you can sneak away 3 points, particularly on the road, you put yourself in a great position. And one of these two sides at the end of match day number 8 could be sitting in a prime position if they can walk out of here with a full 3. Tied at 1. Foul whistled. Nearly a steal. Instead, it's going to be a yellow card. Riasco is going to pick up the first yellow for either side in this match. Comes in the 49th minute. Take a look at him, and you can see the official, Alejo Colum, mentioning that there were a couple different sequences that warranted that. Well, almost every game is kicked off now for the evening slate as this ball comes in loose in the box. Trent, another big save. Nahib on the doorstep, shut down. Well, Trent has now made 4 saves, and boy, they have all been big. Castillo steals it away. I mean, all of Trent's saves in this match, none of them have been cheap. All of them have been right around the 6-yard box that he has had to come through and ensure that Miami hasn't been able to add more than just the 1. Castillo steps up to intercept. Flies it down to Dos Santos. There were a couple subs for Miami. This ball's pedaled in. DeAgostini could have let that one go. LaCava would have been able to be right at the penalty spot. Instead, it goes out for a goal kick. Your changes is Ezekiel Abadia Rida coming in, as well as Modesto Mendez replacing Allen and Frey. LaCava, Jake LaCava. I think that was supposed to be a pass. Didn't put enough on it to get it past Trenton. I'll tell you what, Holden Trent's really having a very fine match here for Philadelphia Union. You can see the run from LaCava. He thinks that Agostini perhaps is going to be able to make that in behind. Holden Trent, a former High Point star, where he played collegiately, 23 years of age, 6'2", from North Carolina. Has certainly made some very nice plays in this match. Here's a foul whistled. Will it be anything more than that? Badi Arita is getting that conversation with our official. We'll talk about the prowess of Holden Trent as you take another glance at this one and the foul. But Trent, his senior year in 2022 with High Point, helped the Panthers to their first ever NCAA tournament appearance, as you see the Federico Higuain getting a yellow. Trent got a win, 2-0 at North Carolina in that tournament. They also beat 7th-ranked Maryland that year. So here's a good opportunity as this ball's flown in high and just over the top of the cage. Take another look at this ball that ended up testing Dos Santos. Agostini plays it back. Two defenders converge. Alvarez sails it long. Who wins the race? And a corner coming up as it's last touched by Mendez. Riasco was giving chase. Corner kick coming up. Martelli will have the honors of putting the service in. Diallo the target initially. Sessa cleared, but it went out. And another corner coming up for Union. Miami entered today winners of 2 of the last 3. Union with points in 3 of the last 4. 2 wins and a draw. 1-1's your score here. Another corner coming in. It comes loose and eventually cleared away. Alvarez. Excellent chesting ball down by Pierre. He goes down in the box. Philadelphia clamoring for a penalty. There will not be a call. That was really good work by Pierre just to get that angle. Dos Santos comes out. Both our goals came in a 2-minute window. Agostini in the 27th minute, Valero in the 29th. Here's LaCava. Hasn't quite settled into that form that he had last year in the USL Championship with 12 goals for Tampa Bay. This ball sent forward. LaCava was the target, but Trent comes out. Well, Miami has scored at least 2 goals in each of the last 3 matches. 8 goals overall in their last 3, nearly 3 per match in that span. But the problem has been they've also given up the second most goals in the league. One fewer than Galaxy 2. They've given up at least 2 in 6 of the last 7. Diallo towards the back post. Stojanovic was the intended target, and it goes out for another goal kick. One of the things that Philadelphia has tried to avoid from its defensive area has been the conversion rate. They've given up a 43% conversion rate on shots on target this year entering the day. Well, Holden Trent has done really well. He came in with just a couple saves. He's more than doubled that here today with 5. And without his presence in front of net, my goodness, this game could be totally different. LaCava. Well, it's a very nice turn here. D'Agostini plays it back, and Diallo sweeps it away. D'Agostini, excellent pass. Meek, Trent again. He's a brick wall back there. Clever from D'Agostini, and Meek put a nice hard low shot in. And Trent just continues to ensure that nothing is going to get by him. The North Carolina native is having himself a delightful match. Oh, we got an injury here. And it was immediately motioned to the side that a sub would be required. I think that's Pedro Alvarez. And immediately motioned that he was going to need a change. Indeed it is. Alvarez. As they wind towards the 1 hour mark. 1 apiece. Goals within the span of 2 minutes. D'Agostini for Miami first in the 27th minute. Valero for Philadelphia the 29th. Michael Watrang sitting here with you. Our entire crew watching as well. And indeed, we will get some changes. It's going to be Anthony Ramirez coming in. Cameron Johnson comes in for Inter Miami. LaCava is the man that comes out. And now here comes the corner flying into the middle of the box. It's headed. A clean header from Mendez, but high and wide. Take another glance at this ball. How about Mendez? Nobody near him. And he had some space in that upper corner, back where the ball came from, but it goes well high.
Left side, Steph.
Riasco switches fields. Stojanovic will not be able to get over there. I believe the assistant official put up 34. There's no 34 on the Union active roster today. It should be 36. Alvarez that came out. With Anthony Ramirez replacing him. After a really good end to that first half, we've had some moments here in the second half. Trent's come up with 2 big saves. And that the Union really haven't been able to make anything happen. And here's some more space. Well, that was a probing shot the entire way from Cameron Johnson, trying to insert himself into the match. Really never gave it a chance. This portion of the match is brought to you by AutoNation, the official automotive retailer and dealership of Inter Miami CF. Ramirez doesn't win that header. Abadia Rida wins it, and then a foul is whistled. Boubacar Diallo. A lot more of the game has been played in the middle of the park. Riasco and Pierre haven't gotten as many chances for Philadelphia. Those two are applying a great deal of pressure last week in their win 2-1 over Red Bulls 2. Meek chips it along. It's a running start, and tumbling down is Nahib. And this will be a yellow just outside of the box. 3rd yellow card given. This one goes to Gina Portela. Braxton Nahib is continuing along that run. And this is a really nice spot. Here's another glance at it. Got the left hand and then the right hand on the back, and Nahib goes down. Portela tried to make the argument that there shouldn't have been anything, but a fairly easy call for the official. And you see that happen. And now it's Abadia Rida and Nahib standing over the top of this ball. A 2-man wall in front. You wonder, what do they prefer, the right-footed shot or a left-footed hooker coming in? And this ball will be pounded to the back post. It gets sent back down to the 6. And cleared towards the side. So they opted for the right-footed curl rather than that left-footed ball that would have had to really hook around the defense and avoid Trent. And yet again, opportunities happen here for Miami, and a long throw coming. Rifling into the box. Meek flicks it along. Johnson had it fall at his feet, but that's such a tough play. Not expecting that ball to fall that cleanly at your feet. And now Trent pummels it down the field. And this has happened very often today. Trent sends it long, and it gets taken right back by either the keeper or the back line. And I mentioned at the outset, passing accuracy, not a strong suit of Philadelphia, as De Agostini nearly had a pilfer in the box. But he was the last to touch in a goal kick. As we wind into the 68th minute of play of a match that sits level at 1 apiece. Foul whistled. And a quick restart from Miami, and they actually want to bring this ball forward. Nelson Pierre whistled for the violation. Pierre taken down this time, and for the first time in the game, a Miami player will be booked. This is on Mendez. Comes in the 69th minute. You can see Pierre turning around. Not sure what kind of advantage he necessarily would have had, but Modesto Mendez whistled for the foul. Once again, a free kick opportunity here. These sides have had plenty of those today, and this time it's Philadelphia's turn. This ball spun towards the back post and over the top of the bar. Second time in the half in which Philadelphia has elected to go towards the back post. Here's an easy interception. Ramirez steps up. He's trying to give it out wide for Riasco. And once again, a giveaway. Abadi Arida. Mendez. De Agostini, excellent touch. This ball gets a lot of air. Meek does end up getting to it. And he angled that ball towards the field that he was going to be able to be in. 1v1 against Portela. Good sidewinding spinner forward. Here's a giveaway. Pace building out of the back. Good start and stop move. But the pass intercepted. Naheed making a run. Trying to swing it out towards Meek. Unable to do so. Caputo. Here's a well-weighted ball. And it ricochets into the hands of Trent. Very sure-handed in this match. Anthony Ramirez. This portion of the match is brought to you by Florida Blue, the official health insurance of Inter Miami CF. Johnson, not enough of a body in front to force the ball to be played out, and a throw in coming in the 72nd minute. We're all level at 1 apiece. De Agostini a goal in the 27th minute, put Miami ahead 1-0. Valero, the equalizer 2 minutes later. Second meeting between these clubs. It was Miami winning 2-1 in the first meeting on a 90+4 winner from Sarsar Cairo. Throw comes in short. Abidi Arita now shuffled in. Johnson a deflection, and the clearance from Portela just does get over the top of the bar, and a corner kick coming up for Miami once more. Nahib will take it. This ball nearly took a bad bounce, but it did set up nicely. Johnson got the piece, and Portela had just enough to get it over the bar. D'Agostini was in a great spot for a second. So Nahib will send this corner across. He spikes it in. 3 Philly jerseys were there. Ooh, very nice from Nahib. Sunderland trying to send it through the middle. Instead, this ball comes out. Riasco. Miami able to retreat, recover. D'Agostini. Another giveaway. Can Riasco take advantage this time? Has runners to each side. Riasco picks out the left side. Pierre was making a run in an angle instead of towards the back post. That's where the pass went. And for the second consecutive moment, Philadelphia seemingly had a spring open, but unable to make something happen. Wind into the 75th minute here. 1 apiece. Miami and Philadelphia. Great to have you along for the ride. Michael Watrang with you. Great work by our entire crew in this match. Glad you've elected to spend part of your Sunday and Mother's Day with us. Foul should be whistled. Instead, they'll play advantage. Meek was making a run through the middle. Instead, Nahib will come out wide. Meek now making the sprint. But Trent, who's been sure-handed, the goal that he gave up, he had no chance of. There's no goalkeeper in the world that would have been able to make that play. D'Agostini won a ball that seemingly he had no chance of winning, and was able to nestle it into a low corner. 15 more minutes of regulation to go. Will we need PKs to get an official result, or will we get a late winner? Here's a good overlapping run. Ramirez to the middle, and this ball pounded home. Union from 1-0 down to 2-1 in front. How about this ball? Anthony Ramirez right into the middle of the yard, and it is a solid finish right out in front. Stojanovic gives Union a 2-1 advantage. Third of the season for Stefan Stojanovic. And it was all set up by an excellent pass from Ramirez. And after Miami had felt like they were the more dominant side, a 16-9 shot advantage, 6 on frame, Trent has come up with 5 saves. Has kept his team in this one, and Union have been able to take the lead. Another corner coming up. This will be the 7th of the day for Miami. And now you get the sense that this crowd getting behind their group. Nahib will take the corner. It comes to Cameron Johnson. No chance he expected that ball to fall cleanly at his feet. But eventually, it's picked up by Trent. Here comes a press coming forward from Pierre. As the ball gets tangled up in his feet. And it's taken away and cleared away. But only as far as Valero. Riasco, Valero again. Valero working through traffic and eventually committing a foul. This portion of the match is brought to you by Baptist Health, the official medical provider of Inter Miami CF. Miami ready to bring Kobe Thomas in. And it's going to be Braxton Nahib that comes out of the match. Nahib was active in half number 2, did his part to try to make something happen. But now the clock ticking. There's a ball sent out, and immediately it's into the grasp of Thomas, and he is offside. Well, entering this match, Marlon LeBlanc admitted that perhaps they'd have to counter more frequently than they'd be used to. He knew that Pierre and Riasco might have something to say up top. They've certainly garnered a lot of attention, but it has been perhaps some unexpected sources that have provided some issues. And here comes a yellow card as well. Anthony Ramirez is going to be shown a yellow. 4th yellow card. Well, there are a lot of players that were unavailable for selection as DeAugustini swings the leg. Trent parries another one wide. Meek sets it up, and he ties it. Lucas Meek pulls Miami level. Philadelphia had the early answer. This time, it's Miami. Third goal of the season for Meek, 2nd in as many weeks. And he bends it perfectly right around Trent. Well, each side continues to have answers. Can either team win this thing without the need of PKs? Lucas Meek, 3rd goal of the season, has made it a 2-2 matchup. Ramirez, Riasco, Ramirez. And the ball touches hand. Well, things have held the form. Miami has given up. Multiple goals for the 6th consecutive match. They've also scored multiple goals, now for a 3rd match in a row. Philadelphia made a change. Luciano Sanchez comes in and Pierre steps off. Easily could have been a foul there, and indeed the official will blow the whistle as Meek tumbles. Meek, the benefactor, has the ball. Elude his touch, spinning out. '83rd minute. Well, there have been large chunks of times without goals in this match, but when we have got them, we've gotten them in flourishes. 2 goals in 2 minutes in the first half, 1 from each side. And 2 goals in the span of 6 minutes, 1 from each side in the second half. Miami bookending the 2 Philadelphia goals. And here in the 84th minute, we're tied at 2 apiece. And a foul whistled against Portela. And a free kick coming up for Miami. Should be a delightful finish to this one here on MLSNextPro.com. Michael Watrang with you. Great to have you aboard. Fasten your seatbelts for this conclusion. Philadelphia's won 3 of the 4 meetings between these clubs, but Miami got the upper hand in the first meeting in a late stoppage time winner. This ball goes to the back post. Meek sprawling header, and Trent again has the answer. Wow. It is a perfect service from Kobe Thomas. Here's the quick corner taken. Off of the backside, bouncing. This ball takes a ricochet off the backside of Riasco. D'Agostini took a tumble. No foul was whistled. 5 minutes to go before we learn of stoppage time. This ball shoveled down the yard. Philadelphia come away with a late stunner. Or is it Miami that has something left in their holster? A foul whistled and a card given. Martelli picks up the 5th card. Excellent defense from Portela that time. Sunderland. Good dribbling. Wide open Meek. Meek. Good touch through the middle. Shot attempt from Thomas. Blocked by Trent again. Sunderland he was going to shoot that ball, and then at the last second thought about passing. And just as that ball go wide, here's Thomas again. Good strength handling Portela. A shot though directly at Trent, and in the end, Trent with both hands coming up with yet another stop. 88th minute. That's a nice touch by Luciano Sanchez. Riasco. Philly unable to hold on to the ball. Well-timed run from De Agostini. He's got two men to his left. Shuffles this through to the middle. Thomas! Trent again! Well, from that distance, it looked like Thomas was going to have his pick. But for the second time in a minute, Thomas is stymied by Trent. And a change coming for Philadelphia. Riasco is going to come out. And Noe Wimanana coming in. Martella ready to take this. Spins it. Not enough distance to get to Portela. We'll get another crack at it. Prefers that left foot. Here's a shot attempt from long range. Was it touched? It was. Corner kick coming up in the 90th minute. Just the 10th shot of the day for the Union. They're being outshot by 10 and by 8 in shots on target. 10 shots on target for Miami. 8 saves for Holden Trent. Tied at 2, waning seconds. Here comes the corner into the box. Portela and Castillo trying to get there, and Castillo commits the foul. 2 apiece. How much stoppage time will we get? There's a long ball sent across the side of the field. Meek gathers it in. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Meek lays it back. Clip through, chested to the ground. And in the first matchup this year, it was a 4th minute stoppage time winner from Sarsar Cairo of Miami. Do we have another late winner in this matchup? Two more minutes to go before PKs. Long ball sent along the sideline. Meek, offside. Long ball sent down the field. 90 seconds to go before we get to PKs. And a foul whistled. A little Philadelphia not happy with the call. Miami will try to go quickly. All eyes on the clock. 2 apiece. 1 more minute to go. Good turn from Thomas. DeAugustini goes down, no foul. 45 seconds. Castillo lofts it long. Sanchez hustling, and it is a throw coming. Miami will retreat everybody. Can Philadelphia bring everyone forward, or do we need PKs? Whistle blows in the final 20 seconds. Not a lot of jerseys for it, as you can see. Looped forward. Corner kick coming up. How does Philadelphia handle this? Top 10 in the league this season in corners. And they've had their chances. They've had their practice. They've scored off of a failed clearing corner from Valero in the 38th minute. Probably the last sequence of the match. It's Benton, Portela. And there is your full-time whistle. And indeed, we will go to penalties. Here inside of this facility in South Florida. Two sides need penalties to decide the winner. Now the decisions for these coaches. We'll have to think about this one. So 2-2 is the score. Everybody will catch their breaths. We'll have the coin toss, and the PK's coming up. 2-2, Miami and Philadelphia. Welcome back to South Florida. After 90 minutes, it is 2-2. And we go to penalties here in this matchup. And two keepers that have had different days on the stat sheet. CJ Dos Santos has one save. He faced just 3 shots on target, 2 beat him. Miami on the other side has attempted 11 shots on target. Holden Trent with 9 saves, a career high. His collegiate high was 8 at High Point against UNC Greensboro on September 6, 2022. And Miami will take the first kicks. And let's see who can get the early upper hand. It'll be Nick Sesak to take the first chance for Miami. And let's see if Trent can be the hero. Each team has a point out of this match. Who gets the additional point here at penalties? Sesak beats Trent. Perfectly placed. Well-positioned penalty. And now it'll be Anton Sorensen stepping up. And let's see how Dos Santos is able to handle things. Miami draws first blood. Sorensen will use the left. Calmly pockets one home. Tied at 1 after the opening round. Well, each kicker decides to go with the grain. 1 apiece. And now Lawson Sunderland. Will step up to take his turn. Well, it's all pending whether or not one of these two sides can get a stop from their keeper. Sunderland pushes it home. Trent has dove to his right both times. Each time the kick has gone in the opposite direction. And now Stojanovic, who scored what was at the time the go-ahead goal in the 75th minute for the Union. Trying to pull his team level here in round 2 of the PKs. Stojanovic, ooh, excellent diving effort by Dos Santos, and it just went underneath him. Nearly got the right hand on it. Caputo in round number 3 will step up. Here's the shot from Caputo, and Trent has another save. A career day for Holden Trent, comes up with a stop. He dove right again. And this time, the kick goes in that direction. Second time in 3 weeks, Philadelphia has gone to PKs. They won 5-4. A couple weeks ago, on April 23rd, here's Anthony Ramirez looking to give Philadelphia the upper hand. Ramirez rolls it calmly home, wide left. Philadelphia 3 for 3. Miami hasn't been to PKs this season. Philadelphia's was a 5-4 win over Toronto. And that ball was really nicely placed by Ramirez. And now here comes Cameron Johnson. In round 4, you feel like this is a must-score opportunity here. Johnson beats Trent this time. Well, Trent has dove in one direction the entire time. Excellent ball there from Johnson. And now here comes Wimana. Trying to keep Philadelphia on the high side. Wimana swings the leg, puts Philadelphia on top, 4-3. And now it all comes down to this 5th round. And it's going to be Meek walking to the spot. Lucas Meek, 24 years old, scored the equalizer in the 81st minute. Trying to keep this match alive. Lucas Meek to the spot. Trent cannot save it, but it hits both posts. Somehow stays out. Philadelphia wins. They get the extra point, and they celebrate with Trent, who comes up with 9 saves in regulation and a PK save in the 3rd round, and some help from the post in the 5th. And the Union walk away with 2 points. Both pipes this time around. And what a thrilling end to the match. What an effort by Holden Trent. And Philadelphia, with players either out from suspension or representing the U17 group, come into Miami and avenge an April loss to this club, winning it in PKs after drawing in regulation. And our man of the match, presented by Adidas, goes to none other than the 23-year-old from North Carolina, Holden Trent. 9 saves, a career high, more than he had in any of his college matches. And he is our man of the match, presented by Adidas. An easy selection with a big-time effort. The expected goals for Miami was 2.11. Expected goals for Philly was 0.62. But in PKs, 4-3, Philadelphia comes away with the additional points. And for the time being, Union have moved into a tie for 9th in the standings. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Michael Watrang saying so long. We're our final score after 2-2 in regulation, 4-3 Philadelphia in PKs here tonight. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.